Hi, Team Flyer. How are you? Welcome back again to this Mother's Day super special episodes. I'm so thrilled to be part of this community and to have a community that has a vast majority of moms out there, both in Spanish and in English. And this is why I decided to make this kind of, surprise special episodes because, it's May and yes, Mother's Day is the Sunday the 10th, and I get it, but I feel like, we got to be celebrated every day, or mothers. I'm not a mom yet, as I keep repeating. But I really do love the fact and the idea that we can all come together as a community, and the mom community is such a powerful, inspiring, graceful, fierce, and limitless kind of community. So today's Monday the 4th, May 4th. We already had this Saturday the 2nd, Lorraine talk about her being a mom and all sorts of fun questions as well. We announced yesterday there's a giveaway. We've announced it like a week ago by now, but yesterday you can see like the rules. So go check out our latest post as well from Sunday, May 3rd. And you can all you have to do is literally like our 3 profiles, and I'll tell you who, because we have like the special guest of the day of the week right now with us, and just tag a friend. So we'll talk a little bit more about the giveaway at the end of the conversation. So now, without further ado, we have Ixiana. Hello, Ixiana.
Hello, Team Flyers. Nice to be here again.
Yes. So for those who know or don't know, she has already been on our podcast. You have a full Go to Fly episode with her, both in Spanish and in English. And that came out early April, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll definitely leave the links down below, of course. And now she's with us participating in the giveaway and also this Mother's Day. So happy early Mother's Day, of course.
Yay, happy Mother's everything.
Exactly. It's it should be every month. It should be every day. But here we are making life extra special, hopefully, these days. So let's just get right into it, basically.
Do it.
How do you define being a woman?
A woman. Wow, you're taking this to the depths
Yes,
of the
I
ocean,
am.
right from the get-go.
Right from the start. This is what we're here for.
All right, so let's take it deep. All right, so I think being a woman is like it's a passion-filled expression of being a human, right? And it is all grit and tenacity and strength, but it's all wrapped up in this like gentle like quality and power, and it's like a very loving force. That's how I visualize womanhood. Yeah.
Womanhood. Yeah, that was actually the
Womanhood.
next question. What womanhood? And that was the next question. So how do you define being a mom?
So I think being a mom is one of the powerful manifestations of being a woman. You know, it's just like another chapter of womanhood, and it's not necessarily, not every woman is gonna be a mother, but it's just, so that's why I say it's like one of the most powerful expressions. It's one of them. There's many
I love
others.
that. There's many different ways.
Yeah.
And how do you difference both?
Well, in my personal opinion, it's because with motherhood, you get this opportunity to shape somebody else besides yourself. I mean, clearly they are going to be another person, an individual, right? But we have this opportunity to install some, values and the things that we believe in, and just create like another human being that's going to be out there in the world.
Exactly, creating a loving, and I think it's fundamental to also understand. And once again, not from experience precisely one-on-one, but I was a foster mom, and I feel like also my mom has taught me this, like, we're human beings, of course, as in your child is not your property, so it doesn't mean
Right.
that, they're always going to be next to you, and they're always going to live in the same town as you, and they're always going to, you never know. They could be living across the whole world.
It's a whole independent person. It's a whole different person. But you get the chance, if you get the chance to kind of shape them a little bit and just try to make them strong and all the good things that you want, to see in this world.
So we're going to keep on with the nitty and the gritty. What is one of the hardest parts of being a mom?
You know what? I've been thinking about that, and I think one of the hardest parts of being a mom is fear. I know this is something that everybody has to deal with in different parts of their lives, but being a mom like kind of extends that fear to somebody that feels like an extension of yourself. So There's the fear of you're not doing it right. There's the fear of I don't know what I'm doing. There's the fear of, oh my gosh, what if something happens to them? Or, all this. So I think it's a great opportunity to try to conquer fear, try to find ways to deal with that and still like thrive as a mother. But yes, I think fear is one of the biggest.
I really think that's a beautiful answer, actually, because it's something as a person who's not a mom, I wouldn't really have thought of that answer in that kind of way. But it is fear at the end, and conquering fears. I was actually also interviewing other lovely, beautiful souls here for Go to Fly and our Wednesday regular episodes, and conquering fear, no matter what shape and size, is so important to constantly do constantly. Sorry, and I love the answer as well, the fears. So, what is one of your favorite memories with your kids?
I think one of my favorite memories, it's hard to pinpoint one, but definitely they have both expressed at one point or another that they think I'm beautiful. And I'm not saying this as like a, like vanity kind of thing. It's because I can see in their eyes that they see in me so much more than it's just, what's apparent to the eye.
Yeah.
So they find me beautiful and they will say it. And I remember my oldest, and he must have been, what was he, 3 or 4 years old? And we were lying in bed, and sometimes moms do this, and I would be like, will you still love me when I'm all gray and wrinkly, like fishing or something, right? And he just looked at me and, he put his little hand in my face and he said, yes, because in my heart, you will always look like this. Oh. And I was like, oh my God. So I don't know. I think that is one of my fondest things with my children is that I can see that they can see me for who I am, and they find that beautiful. So that's very powerful.
That is. I love that sentiment, of course, because, as children, we don't really know anything about social standards and how we're supposed to look and all that stuff. And children just see you with those eyes of pure love, and they see themselves the same way. So like they're able to maintain that with them.
Yeah.
How would your kids describe you?
I think at this point, at this age, they're 6 and 9, so they're still very sweet. So I think they would describe me as sweet, but also embarrassing.
We already have that big word, embarrassing, for the rest of our lives now.
Embarrassing. And it's funny because the things they find embarrassing is when I start expressing like, oh, I love you so much. And they're like, oh, you're so embarrassing.
We must say you also have 2 boys. However, I feel like it would be the same with girls, I'm assuming. Kind of like those ages.
I haven't had that experience, but I'm sure that's how they would describe me.
Just in general.
Generally.
So, what words of advice have you always given them up to now? Like for the past 6 and 9 years?
The biggest thing is that I've always tried to make sure that they know and they understand they are of value, that their worth is like not in what somebody else thinks of them, but that they must know and be confident that they are special, in their own way, and that they should carry that with them, because I know for experience that the world has a tendency to try to put you down. And if you are not confident in your worth, it's very hard. And so I always tell them, and they say like, oh, that's your opinion because you're my mother. And I'm like, no, I say this, then, and then I back it up with facts, things they do, because sometimes it's easier for them to understand it that way. But yes, I always try to instill in them confidence and to know their worth.
That's definitely beautiful, and I feel like a message that you're always going to tell them without a doubt.
Absolutely. Even if they're like, oh, you're so embarrassing.
Even when they're teenagers, you're like, Mom.
I'll be like, you're amazing. Oh. Every day.
Every single day. Oh my goodness. So apart from being embarrassing and whatnot, what is one of the most rewarding things about being a mom?
One of the most rewarding things. Oh, I know. I think one of the most rewarding things is that we get an opportunity to see the world all over again like a child. Because that's something that kind of goes through, and we go through phases, right, in life. And you have this kind of hopeless hope and all this wonder and blah, blah, blah. and then you get older, and you might get distance yourself from that feeling. But once your children come along and you see them discovering the world, you kind of get a chance to discover it all over again in a, you know, in a different, of course, a separate person. But yeah, I feel like that's really cool.
I love that. I love that. And I feel like it's something that you mention quite a few times on your social media feed
Oh
and
yeah,
in
'cause
general, like
it's
seeing the world through their
really,
eyes.
it's an opportunity, you know. You're not always going to catch yourself seeing things with this eyes of wonder, right? But if we pay attention, you find out that yeah, you can always, when they mention things sometimes, or they see something and you're like, huh, true.
So
It's very cool.
cute. What up to now, and you can give me for an answer for both of them if you like, if they're different, has been one of the most exciting milestones?
See, I don't know. I feel like I don't follow milestones that carefully as, you know. So I really can't say. With them, I just feel like the most important milestones for me is when I see them in action and being the person I would hope they want to be, you know, like kindness and brave and all those things. So every time they show some of those qualities, I feel like that's milestone, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes it more special. Because a lot of people are like, oh, like when they first start to walk, or when they ride the bike, or they go to school, quote
It's
unquote,
just
by
that those
themselves.
keep
But
coming. You know that that kind of milestone is never. It's like never ending. You know, there's always gonna be something, right? At some point,
exactly.
even when they after they leave the college and their first job or their first whatever, you know, everything's like a milestone. So I try not to get too hung up on that kind of thing. So I just like, you know, every day it's something. So
Exactly. Once again, that's why it's extra special as well. Because you're like, well, every time I see them being kinder,
oh,
or every
I love
time I
that.
see them being, yeah, exactly, or like being thankful or mindful,
Oh,
and you're like, there you go.
respectful.
You're
Yeah.
9 and 6. I mean, come on. So, what has been one of the funniest memories with your kids?
Oh my gosh, I think all moms thinks their kids are the funniest. So I don't know. I do remember this one time we were at a friend's house on a play date, and I was talking to my friend, and I see my youngest. He was 2 years old at the time, 2 years old, so he's very little, and he talked like this. And he was sitting on the floor picking up something. I don't know. And I kind of looked at him and I asked him, are you okay? Like, what's going on? What are you doing? And then he just looked at me and he said, I'm not kidding. He said this: if I make a mess, somebody's going to get angry. And I think that is going to be you. He said that. And then my friend starts laughing because I don't know what she's thinking that I'm going to do to him before making a mess. But it wasn't even like there was a mess or anything. So I'm like, where is this little kid's mind that he's like already thinking that if I make a mess, somebody's going to get angry and it's going to be you. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
At 2 years old, I just found that very funny. But yeah, I don't know. They always say little things, but yeah.
That was definitely what
I don't know.
you're going to be telling that at his wedding.
Yeah.
One of those, you know.
Somebody's going to get angry and I think it's going to be you.
Oh my gosh, you're or when you get grandkids, like, wow, let me tell you a story of your dad. Oh my gosh. What habits of your kids make you the most proud?
Well, I think I've mentioned this before, but I feel like anything that has to do with them being good human, like what you could call good humans, you know, anything that shows kindness and respect. Um, when it shows that when they show that, it also shows me that they have a good grasp of love, what that means, and how to express it and how it translates. You know, we always say, oh, be kind and love, but what does that look like, right? So I see it when my youngest wants to go and we're going for a walk and he insists on bringing a bag so we can pick up trash, you know, or when my oldest refuses to make fun of a kid, even when somebody else is, and he will intervene and be like, that's not funny, you know, like when they show that kind of things that show kindness and compassion and understanding that we are all one, that's when I feel the proudest.
Oh, and I also love that you gave us a couple of examples because that's very, very sweet. And they're looking at the world
Yes,
through
they're
clearer
looking
eyes.
they're looking at the world with kindness, and I know they're very young, and that's probably easier at this time for them because they haven't been exposed to a lot of other harsh, ness.
Exactly.
But I feel like if we keep them going strong on that, we try to make them understand when there's disappointment, then they have to go through it because that's part of life. But that shouldn't negate them being kind or loving or anything like that.
Completely agree with you. So, what similarities then do you see with your kids?
That's the biggest similarity because I think
Mm-hmm.
I see that they're both very sensitive, and that's not just about them being kind and all this cute stuff. It's also about them get offended very easily. Um, but yes, they're both very sensitive, but they express that in different ways. My oldest is very vocal. He's like me. He's very dramatic and over the top, and my youngest is more like my husband. He's very, you can tell that he's upset and he'll try to explain it to you, but then he's always like, I'm fine, I'm okay. Like he just, they deal with it differently, but I can see that they're both very sensitive.
Something interesting as well that just because they're boys,
Oh
you're
yeah.
also like breaking those kind of
Oh
norms, which
my
is a
gosh,
good
don't even
way.
get me started with that. That's always been a thing my whole, since I've had them. I've always been very, like, a very strong advocate for how, women empowerment. And it's not to say that I don't think my boys are powerful or anything like that. It's not like that at all. But I understand, how things are in society and how it works. And I want to make sure that they know,
And
that love.
that's why, like, I knew I had to bring it up because, of course, as a mom of two boys, it is something that you're bringing, like, what we basically say as always is like, oh, we're gonna, like, if we have girls, we're gonna raise them and like be empowerment and strong, which is wonderful, obviously. But what happens when you just have boys for whatever reason the universe has told you to get boys? You gotta power them as well and make sure that they're
Yeah,
sensitive, that they're able to feel their feelings, that they can cry, that they can do whatever they
absolutely.
like.
I
And
know.
through
I've
these
always, that's
things,
been a big pet peeve of mine always since they were little. And, you hear these types of comment that people sometimes say, and they don't mean to say anything like, oh, why would you get him a pink shirt? Or, oh, why would you get him a little kitchen to play with? Like, that is reserved for like girls. So I've always tried to make sure when we encounter those kinds of situations when they were younger, people would say something like, oh yeah, you're a boy, you're gonna be tough. I would always try to explain to them, you do know that women are very tough too, right? We've actually had an instance when my oldest was about, I'm gonna say, 6 years old. He thought Wonder Woman was his favorite superhero, right? And that was nothing that I'm not particularly like following Wonder Woman or anything. He just came up to that conclusion on his own. And one time he comes back from school and he's crying, and I'm asking him like, what's going on? And then he tells me that we do carpool, that the two kids that were in a car with him were talking about superheroes. And when he said his favorite superhero was Wonder Woman, they start to make fun of him and start laughing. So, my first instinct was I was going to go outside and start yelling at some kid. But then I was like, no, nope, teaching moment. So then we got together and I talked to him and I said, like, it's okay because some people just don't see women that's so powerful, but you understand that women are very powerful too, right? So yes, Superman is a great superhero, but Wonder Woman is not less of a superhero because she's a woman, right? You understand that. And so he continued to love Wonder Woman for a while, and now he's not into superheroes, but
but if he were, Wonder Woman's top of the
I think
list.
he learned something, I hope.
I think he did. I feel like throughout his life, and I mean, he's just 9, and then when he's a
Yeah.
teenager, and the way he's gonna treat his, not only girlfriends as in like his dating partners, but friends that he has that are girls in
Yeah.
general. I remember, which we're not going to talk about it too much because we have that in the other episode, but the episode you were on, you also talked about the Super Bowl,
Oh yes.
and we talked about how they felt watching Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. So if you're
Yes.
interested in
Yes.
that show, I mean that show also, but that story, It's linked down below that previous episode as well, so you
Yeah.
can like Team Flower can listen to it because it's also one of those moments.
Yeah.
What is your vision for them and their future?
Honestly, all I really want, and I'm sure a lot of women would say this, but truly, truly, I just want them to be healthy. I envision them healthy, confident, and happy. That's it. I don't have a particular vision of what job they will be doing. I mean, I'm hoping they can afford to live on their own at some point. But that would be part of them being, well, right? Confident and
Exactly.
happy and healthy. So yes, because I see health also not just physically and nutrition, which is of course my forte, but also mental health and being able to be part of society and function. So yeah, I want them to be healthy, joyful, and confident.
What would you say? Now, kind of changing the tables here now. What would you say to your younger self?
To my younger self, I would say the same thing I say to my kids now. And I feel like a lot of mommies might feel this way too. We want our children to feel that they're worth it, that they're worthy of anything, and that their worth is not depending on what other people see in them, right? So I would like to remind myself, if I had the opportunity to go back and tell myself something about that, that's what I would say. Remember your worth. Your worth does not depend of what others see in you, right? That would have saved me a lot of heartache.
Coming from experience, I must say.
Yeah, I think it's something that is very universal. But yes.
Exactly. And I do agree once again, and I'm seeing you were with us in a previous episode, both in Spanish and English, and you did go in depth a little bit more talking about your story
Yeah.
and it kind of lines up to what we're talking about as well. What was what has been the most surprising thing you've discovered about being a mom?
I think the most surprising thing I discovered was that I did not love it right away.
I told you it lines up with the previous episode.
I was like, I always wanted to be a mom, and yeah, I always wanted to kick kids. And then I got my first kid, and I was like, what is this? I hate it. This sucks. But yeah, I think that was one of the most surprising things, that I was expecting to love it immediately, to immediately look at my baby and be like, oh my God, this magical moment, right? And it took me years to get there. So that was surprising. And I will not say I love being a mom. It's one of my favorite manifestations of myself is motherhood. But it took me a while to get there.
Exactly. Once again, it does link up because of that, because you just told us so much more in our previous episode. How would you describe your kids in one sentence?
One sentence, my kids are national treasures. No. Let me see. I would say something, I know it's cheesy, but I would definitely say something along the lines that my kids are the kind of person I want to see more of in the world. They really are, and I believe that.
So, imagine that it's 10 years on the road. So they're 19 and 16, and they've oh.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
Teenage boy is great. They've come across this episode. What would you say to them?
Oh, you know what I would say, so that it would extra embarrass them? I would tell them that they've always challenged me and inspired me. Always. So yes, I would tell them that.
I'm like, well, that's not embarrassing, but I mean,
well, for them, at 16, you think?
Exactly, yeah.
You always inspired me, my darling.
For oh God, then my kids are just gonna have a field day with me, I swear. Because I say it all the time. Like I say it all to you, to my team flyer in our community, and my friends. Oh my God, they're like, I get because I'm like, oh, you inspire me so much, or like, I'm so thankful for you, and I say that on a daily basis. So I feel like my kids are gonna be like, okay, mom.
I'm telling you, they get sick of it hearing it, but I feel it has power and impact. So I don't care. That's one of the benefits of being a mom. You can just tell them whatever you want.
Exactly. You just got to listen to it. That's it.
That's it.
So, what is something your children have taught you?
Hmm. Oh, I know. They taught me that I can deal with a lot more grossness that I thought I ever could. Seriously. But that, to go more profoundly, not just be the gross stuff like dirty diapers or farts or things like that. Um, it's they've taught me that I'm capable of dealing with a lot more than I ever thought I would be capable of. And it's a testament to strength in womanhood and motherhood. Uh, this is something you can learn without being a mom, of course. But I feel like since having them, that's something that there's so many challenges and things, obstacles that you never thought or you never saw coming, and that maybe somebody would have told you that that was going to happen to you, be like, oh no, I would never be able to deal with that. But then you know what, you just deal. And
You just steal. There you go.
that's something that they have definitely taught me. Yeah.
Oh. What will you tell a first-time mother to be?
I would tell a first time mom to be very kind and loving to herself first and always, that she is just as important as that child. And I love my kids with a fierce passion, I will kill anybody, I will do anything for them. But I also know that I am just as important as they are. And because of that, I've been able to, to go through things and transformations and change and keep going. And because of that, a new mom, if she can feel that power of self-love, she will be a way better mom to their children. So it starts with you, right? Just allow yourself that love. All that love you feel for your child, allow it to yourself.
And that's just a beautiful message and something so important that we repeat often.
Yeah.
And not only as a personal level of, like I was saying, like I tell my friends that love yourself, like be yourself, like just pamper yourself and fill your own cup, but also throughout the community. And like, it's just, even if we're feeling repetitive, it doesn't matter. It's going to get to you. And it's so, so important because we lose that. And that's a whole different side of conversation to have, and so
Yes.
different kind of podcast episode, of course, and whatnot. But definitely that. I love that. Self-love and be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
I'll keep in mind. Oh, I'm going to
Please
keep
do
on
so.
practicing.
You're telling that to people, so I hope you are implementing it.
Yes, I am. Thankfully, I am. Took a long time, but here I am doing it on a
Yes,
daily
right?
basis.
It's so hard.
It is. It is. How are you celebrated? As in, what does your husband do, or what does your kids, or not only for Mother's Day in general?
So that I don't feel invisible. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. I feel very loved, and I feel that because they're not, and I'm not saying this is because they're guys. I that's not what I'm saying. But in my family, there's a tendency not to be very expressive with little details or things like that. I'm the one that's always like that. I've always been like that. But they show me every day with respect, because they treat me with respect, because they thank me for the things I do, for the meals, for every time I put a meal on the table, my husband's like, thank you. So they help me around the house. And because they let me believe I'm the ruler of the house.
Exactly.
So yes, I do. They make me feel respected and loved and wanted. So yes, that's how I get celebrated.
Beautiful. How have you changed as a person since becoming a mom?
Oof.
In 3 to 5 sentences, go.
I feel like I've been completely dismantled, like I've been dismantled and then put back together. And it's just that it's a constant transformation, and this is true for, I think, almost every facet of every person. Like, it's a constant change. So I guess one of the ways I feel like I've been changed is like my capacity to love has expanded. My self-worth has gone bigger, and it's expanded as well. And that is because I feel like I have to provide that example for my kids. If I want them to be happy, if I want them to be confident, if I want them to eat good foods, all these things, then I feel like I have to live that. I have to live that truth that I'm trying to make them see. So yeah, there's a lot more accountability, I feel like.
So you were able to sum it up.
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. So before we start wrapping up, is there anything more that you would like to add about motherhood?
Motherhood it's a journey. It's just like everything else in life. Obviously it's very different for a mother to a person that's not a mother, just because our experiences are different, right? But it's just a journey. It's filled with ups and downs, and our greatest strength is going to be in keeping a connection to ourselves, who we are, and to taking care of ourselves, so that way we can continue this journey. That's a long journey. So yeah.
All right. Of course, as always, what are you thankful for?
I am thankful that Mother's Day is coming up soon, and I get to celebrate it again with my family, even through all these things that are happening right now. I have my kids, I have my husband, and I have myself in health, and I'm very grateful for that.
So now, definitely let's get to the juiciest part of the episode, I guess. It is about the giveaway, a little bit of what you do.
Yeah.
So you just published a book. Tell us a little bit about that so they know what we're talking about, and then we can talk about the giveaway.
I'm very excited to say that this has been almost a whole year process of everything, and my book's finally coming out, and it's called Radiant Mami, and it's always been a dream of mine to be able to help other women feel empowered and inspired to take charge of their lives, to live their best life, whatever that is. And the way I can help is via nutrition, lifestyle, and wellness adjustments. So I put all that passion and love together in that book, and I'm really, really excited that it's coming out.
Because
And
it's what
I
you
would like
studied
to,
as well.
yeah, and I want to share it. So I would like to give a copy of the signed copy of the book to one of your audience members.
Exactly, one of our lucky Team Flower members around here. So the giveaway, well, she also studied this. So if you go back and listen to her actual episode, her Go to Fly episode, she tells you a lot more about what she studied, and all the knowledge that she has is very powerful. And she does this course, and she, like you said, it's been a whole year, processing a whole book. And we also have a copy over here, and we're so thankful, and we just look forward, and I just support really, of course, women in general, in this particular case, moms, because you're such a strong, wonderful community, and you're there to like rise each other up and push each other forward. And with you and your book and what you do, it's so inspiring. At the same time, it's useful information to have.
Yes, it's the book has a step-by-step guide. It's very simple. I kind of designed it with busy moms in mind, and it kind of touches on stress and what it does to you and your body, especially during motherhood. And it touches on connection with self, and it has exercise for all that kind of stuff, but also it includes meal plans and recipes. So it's very step by step, and I try to keep it very accessible and realistic, because I know moms, we're busy.
Exactly.
But if you have the time to take care of your children, you really need to make time to take care of yourself. And I hope this
at the end of the
book
day,
would help.
Exactly, because at the end of it, when your kids are, past their teenage years or adults, you're still yourself. You're still going to be with yourself. And something like this with the books, I know through our community here, the Always Believer, we have a lot of busy moms, and maybe, they're into like makeup, and that's what they're going to do. Not as a hobby, but like they're makeup artists, or maybe they're other kinds of businesswomen. And they're like, oh my God, what do I do with my part? Like they're really stressed on that area of life, because it's very hard. And that's why I always bring you up. Like anytime I have like one of those people who come up to me like, I don't know what to do, like Radiant Mami, Ixiana, like that's her book, that's her course, go check her out.
I'd love to help mommies out, because I understand, because I've been there, I've been completely lost. I've been suffer from health issues, and doctors are very well intentioned, and I have a great deal of respect, but they're something about this mysterious motherhood disease that is just kind of like attributed to being tired or things like that. But that comes from somewhere, and it comes from hormone changes and a lot of different things that have to do with stress. So yeah, I definitely go into that in the book, and I just want to provide some realistic solutions for moms.
Exactly, out of experience and out of knowledge, because you did study it, so definitely. So our special giveaway is it's running from May 3rd, 2020 to May 10th, 2020, which is obviously from Sunday to Sunday, Mother's Day. And we just uploaded it yesterday here at The Always Believer. You can check out the Instagram post. All you have to do is one more thing about the special giveaway. Apart from that, you're giving your amazing book. A humongous another shout out to Style by Liv, to a lovely Liv, which we've done many other collaborations, many other giveaways as well. And she's giving away a 30-minute complimentary skincare consultation to find the best clean beauty products within your price range. And she's also a nurse. She's ambassador for Beauty Counter, which is 110% natural products.
Love
She's
them.
all about just giving your body 110% healthy natural products, much like Ixiana is, of course. And if that wasn't enough of a giveaway, I'm also giving away a 30-minute coaching session to make sure that we have your best self shine and be motivated and be confident. And we can talk about what's going on with you to make sure that at least through the book and the beauty products and with me, it's mind, body, and soul. So that's our beautiful special giveaway to all the moms and non-moms as well. If you're not a mom, it's okay. You can also participate. You can also give your book to your best friend, to your aunt, to whoever as well. But regardless, or keep it for the future, obviously. But yeah, so we did the post just yesterday. It says giveaway on it. It's pretty hard. Not like you can see it. It's Mother's Day giveaway. And all you have to do is follow our 3 accounts and tag a friend. And that's it. It's that easy to get yourself some self-love, some self-pamper with mind, body, and soul.
Those are some powerful tools, and it's great, that you're available to give those to the community. That's awesome.
Exactly. So thank you once again for being here in this little podcast special episodes for Mother's Day. We appreciate you, everything that you're doing, everything you've done. I love your book and your spirit, and you're such an amazing...
You're embarrassing me.
It's a good answer.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
You inspire me like you're going to tell your kids. You do, though. You really do. You really, really do. I can't talk you up more. And so, yeah. And where can we find you? Of course, even though the links are going to be down below, but still.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Radiant Mami, Facebook, and you can visit my website at www.radiantmami.com. And YouTube too. You can even find me on YouTube. I'm like everywhere.
Exactly. It's all linked down below. Please participate in the giveaway. Listen to her first episodes. And as always, if you have any other questions for her, you can always go DM her. You can always go write her an email, whatever. But also in today's post in general, our doors is always open. And for us, with Style by Liv and her beauty products, or with my coaching as well, you're always welcome here. Thank you very much for participating, Santa. Have a beautiful day and happy Mother's Day month, basically. And life, just life since the day your firstborn is born.
It's my pleasure to be here again. Thank you so much.
Have a beautiful day, okay?
You too.
Bye.
Bye.